10. 0-point energy, the energy of nothing. Even in the emptiest vacuum, there's still a little energy floating around called 0-point energy. This is like the leftover heat you feel in your car's engine even after it's been turned off. Think of it like trying to get rid of all the clutter in a room. Even when you think you've cleared it out, there's always something left behind. Just like how space is never entirely empty, there's always a bit of energy lingering. 11th, quantum foam, the fabric of space. Imagine that space is like a calm ocean, but when you look closely, you see tiny frothy bubbles rising to the surface. This quantum foam represents the fluctuations in energy and space-time at a microscopic level. It's like when things seem calm and peaceful, but then little unexpected waves, like small problems or surprises, pop up in life. Space-time is always a bit frothy underneath. 12th, quantum dots, tiny artificial atoms. Tiny quantum dots are used in things like LED screens, where they produce bright, specific colors of light. It's like having a set of special paint colors to create the perfect picture, but in the form of tiny quantum particles. Quantum dots are like the tools we use in everyday life to enhance our experiences, such as customizing a car with your favorite color or designing a home with unique styles. The tiny details make a big difference. 13th, quantum communication, unbreakable encryption. Imagine sending a message that, if someone tries to read it, will automatically get scrambled, alerting you to the breach. This is the principle behind quantum communication, which uses quantum states to ensure that information remains secure. It's like when you send a secret text message to a friend that only they can read, knowing it's completely safe because even if someone intercepts it, they won't be able to understand it. 14. Virtual particles, tiny temporary creatures. Think of a peaceful pond that occasionally bubbles with tiny fish that appear and disappear. These are like virtual particles that pop in and out of existence, influencing forces like gravity and magnetism. It's like moments of surprise in life, small events or changes that happen unexpectedly and influence your larger surroundings, even though they're brief and impermanent. 15th, quantum mechanics, works at tiny scales. Imagine a grain of sand on a beach. You can't see the quantum behavior of tiny particles at the size of the sand grain, but those tiny particles inside it, atoms and electrons, are following quantum rules. Just as you can't see the atoms inside a solid object, you can't always see the tiny decisions and events in your life, but they still shape your future in big ways. 16. The double slit experiment. In this experiment, particles behave as waves until someone watches them. This is like a performer who only becomes a character when on stage. When you look at a situation closely, it behaves one way, but when you're not looking, it behaves differently. It's like deciding to act differently when someone is watching you versus when you're alone. The energy you put into something changes based on how much attention it gets. 17th, quantum leap. Not a big jump, just a tiny one. Electrons inside atoms don't move gradually between energy levels. They jump. It's like climbing a staircase without ever stepping between the stairs. You just leap from one to the next. In life, some changes happen suddenly and with little warning, just like how big shifts in careers or relationships can happen all at once without incremental buildup. 18. Schrödinger's cat, a thought experiment. Imagine you put your favorite toy inside a box, but you're not sure if it's in one piece or broken. Until you open the box, it's both broken and whole at the same time. It's like having multiple possibilities for what's inside. This is how we sometimes feel about life decisions. You don't know the outcome until you make a choice, and until then, all possibilities seem equally possible.